I know that's two adverbs together, but whatever.
That's fine. So no, it hasn't outsold the Wii U yet.
But by April?
But it's on pace to. Although it's on pace. It could do it before the end of the calendar year.
Absolutely.
If it keeps selling at the rate it's going.
Yeah. But the idea is that they know that at least by next March, by 1 year anniversary release date, they'll have basically just blown the Wii U out of the water. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're also fighting with themselves for best reviewed game of the year.
It's funny.
The top three. Two of them are Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's like the top three best reviewed game. Sorry, the top 5 best reviewed games of the year
are,
according to. This is not. This article was on Polygon. It's not Polygon's scores. It's everyone's. I guess this is Metacritic.
Metacritic, I guess, yeah.
Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild for Switch.
Sure.
Breath of the Wild for Wii U.
Nice.
Those might have gotten backwards. Divinity 2 Original Sin, and Persona 5.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so even like stuff that's out, like Destiny 2 or like all these other ones, the newest stuff that's come out hasn't even quite crawled up that high yet, I'm guessing. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm particularly impressed by Divinity.
Yeah, it's very, very well reviewed, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not a... it's a little bit of a... Not like a super indie title, but it is not it's not one of like the really big studios, so good for them.
It's funny too because I really thought that what was going to happen was they were also going to be like, oh, the best-selling console this year, or best-selling console for Nintendo. Like they're like, oh, the Switch has blown past the Wii U in a year, and I'm like, technically, I bet also the SNES Classic will blow past the
Wii U.
If they make more of them, they could probably get them all out. So
the there was also, speaking of systems of release, it came out 10 days ago, but there's the latest edition of Let's Sing, not to be confused with Just Dance. This is Let's Sing 2018. It's made by a company from France. They've made the Let's Sing games. They also made like the voice video games. Anyway, it's coming out for PS4 and Wii.
Did you forget to say Wii U?
I did not.
It's Wii.
It's out now for Wii. It's apparently coming to Switch in December, which will be for the first karaoke game for the Switch. But it's out for the Wii.
Like, I know the Wiimotes had microphones in them.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're terribly good, but I know that they're in there. But I would have assumed, and it's not Just Sing, it's Let's Sing. But somebody mentioned in chat.
Oh, did I say Just Sing? I got
sure,
confused.
but
it's not Just Dance. It's Let's Sing.
They must have dedicated microphones.
They also did a game that's literally called, like with the graphic and the font and everything, now that's what I call Sing.
And then thought that was such a good idea that they followed it up with a sequel. Now that's what I call Sing 2.
Yeah. They did do a game called Let's Sing and Dance.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Just to confuse everything.
So people are saying, well, if it made it for the Wii, it would show up on the Wii U. The difference being that if you made it for the Wii, that means that on the Wii U, it plays in the Wii mode, right? And like, okay, whatever. But that also means it plays back in 480p.
Yeah.
It does not play back in 1080p.
I mean,
I feel like it's probably not one of those games that like the graphics are super important.
No,
probably not.
But in comparison, it probably would look like ass next to the PS4.
Fair. TXE2 brings up a good point that the game just got released for the Sega Mega Drive. I mean, we did a story last episode about Perkel, which was a game. Which was for the NES. And in fact, at TwitchCon, I don't know if you saw their booth, there was a dev studio that just makes games for the NES and like releases them on carts.
I think I went to that booth at PAX, actually. Oh, cool. I got to play their new whatever Monster Hunter zombie game thing.
Yeah, Can you imagine like going into a bank and trying to get a loan to start that company?
What do you do?
Apparently your mic is loud.
My mic is loud?
I make games for defunct
You just
consoles.
leaned right into it.
My mic is loud.
I noticed a few people in chat were like, why is Beej's prompter way off to the left? And it isn't.
It's not.
It's because
I think that one or two people just weren't aware.
Yeah, so just because when I look through my left eye, my right eye turns in a bit, and it gives you the illusion that I am looking off to one direction. And if I look through my right eye, my left eye turns in a bit, and then it looks like I'm looking the other direction. And at the distance these things are away, I can't read them with my right eye. So I
He's
look a little weird.
He's just such a big fan. He's always looking at one direction.
So
I turned that down a little bit, but I don't know.
Stories stories that we got.
Oh right, yeah.
What if Hitler hadn't had a stupid friggin' looking mustache? Because if you take it's so easily.
Because you can wear the Stalin and no one will call you on it.
No, they'll just be like, "Oh, you doing what's Magnum PI there?"
Yeah, or that dude.
It's like
from,
I'm wearing a Yushanka. What? You know.
It's like, oh, you're the guy from Parks and Recreation. No, what?
No, I'm literally sending people to the gulag.
Yeah.
How do you confuse this?
I'm imagining that's like that was it Man in the High Tower?
Amy Woodworks, a cool cat raid from Amy Woodworks.
Oh,
well, hi, welcome everybody.
That
Just to the people just joining us, you've just missed sort of the bulk of the show, where we record, not the bulk, but like the meat of the show, where we record the YouTube episode to go up on YouTube. And now we're just going to start talking about video game news in a more relaxed way. But
also, I can't wait actually to read more about how raids are going to work on Twitch now.
Is my mic set up differently? Sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Just double check this.
Welcome, new people.
Yeah, glad to see you.
So sorry, we were talking. Yeah, so yeah, what they did in Wolfenstein the New Colossus for the release in Germany is they were like, that Hitler guy looks a little too Hitlery. What if we just take his mustache away? And they also, they don't refer to him as the Chancellor anymore, or I can't remember what term they used to refer to him, but it's like not a title that actual Hitler held. So he's just like this, he's just this really old, angry German guy.
He does look kind of funny. Like it's like he's going hard for the comb over and like all this stuff. I'm like, oh, you poor man. I feel like he would not have gotten the traction that he got. Bob Hitler. I like that. Counts zero.
Maybe I sound better now?
Yeah.
For some reason, the EQ settings on this mic were different than the other one.
We had said earlier, too, it's funny how iconic that becomes, the haircut and the mustache. But then when you remove the mustache, it's like, actually, he just doesn't look like he should.
Yeah.
And then
and Soul Patch Hitler looks like Gary Oldman's character from The Fifth Element.
That's right.
Yeah. I think Zorn?
Yeah.
Zorg? Something like that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that, like, those like alternate histories where it's like, like the Man in the High Tower or whatever, where it's like Nazi Germany actually won the war.
Right.
That's the that different mustache.
Also,
who knows how history could have changed?
I didn't watch The Man in the High Castle, but were there a lot of people in the show wearing the Hitler mustache as kind of like, oh, this is it's popular, it's still caught on. Like that would be a thing to do, right? Like
that'd be amazing.
He's like,
was it actually like popular in? I would assume it would be popular in Germany at the time.
I mentioned this.
I don't know.
I mentioned this before the show, and I'm going to share it because it's truth, even though it's a weird thing to share. Is that my grandfather, who was born in like 1913, so he would have been like roughly into his 20s, around the mid 30s or whatever. He had the Charlie Chaplin, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like there were men that did. They wore that mustache and everything. And then, of course, by the 1939, it's kind of like that thing came off, and we never saw him with a mustache again.
Just gonna take care of that.
Yeah, it's like all those.
He was Scottish too. Like,
it's all those pictures of American school children with the swastikas saluting, because they were like, the swastika was just like, hey, that's our team thing.
Yeah, there was a U.S. Was it an air division? It was like an air division or an infantry division. I can't remember. But they used the swastika as their like company symbol as well. And then they were like, let me just
close that in and make a big black square.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, these days, in the times of the internet, we are fully versed in the various symbols being sort of co-opted by groups that you don't like, and so it's like, oh, I like that thing. Now I can't do it anymore.
What if you wore like the Salvador Dali with the big waxed curly ends on it? That's what they should do, is when they remake these games, it's like, we have to do a Hitler, but we can't have the same
windmills.
They should give him ridiculous mustaches.
Yeah, or the windmills with other air parts at right angles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When Desert Bus 2, when you were shaving your beard off. Of course, that's when you're like trying different stages. That's like the logical conclusion. And I remember even at the time, Kathleen was like, I can't buy it as a Hitler mustache. Paul looks too wholesome. We put a bowler on you, and it was like, it's Charlie Chaplin.
Yay!
Anyway, so that's how they got around that. And of course, they replaced all the swastikas as well, and toned down the violence, because that's the other thing. That's the other big thing that for games released in Germany is that they really toned down blood and violence.
Yeah, although sometimes they don't really tone down the actual like violence. They just make the people you're doing the violence towards robots.
Yeah. In Germany, Team Fortress 2, all the characters in Team Fortress 2 are canonically robots. Like they're literally actual robots. There's I was looking this up. There's a clip from the Meet the Soldier thing where he's talking to all the heads, and there's like the head on the ground, and in our version, it's like it's
like a chunk of meat with
blood and like a bone coming out. It's not a vertebrae, but it's like a cartoony bone.
Yeah.
And in the German version, it's like oil with like a corkscrew. Yeah.
Which actually looked really cool, and I was like, man, they should have kept that aesthetic, or let you have that aesthetic in like everywhere else if you want everyone to be robots instead.
Yeah. Like how Contra became Probotector. I'm not familiar with that.
It's interesting, but of course, it's almost like, because there's the thing in America where they often censor things for sexual content or adjust things, make whatever outfits less revealing or not show things that they would have otherwise, or bleep words and stuff like that. And so this is in Germany, they usually don't care quite so much about the sexual content, but the violence. I feel like there's an argument to be put forward that maybe violence is something that could be censored more than showing the sexual content isn't quite so bad.
It's quite heavily weighted, and it could maybe
that
a little bit more, maybe like that.
That's not necessarily. What I'm saying is that's not necessarily a bad way of setting it up.
Exactly, T.
In some cases, it gets a little silly.
Agreed.
Anyway,
that was my dad's thing. It's like, which are you more likely to encounter in your life?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, everybody dies, but not
it's
everybody has sex.
I think that there's a great Stephen Fry had a great rant.
Gore, rather.
Okay, it's fair.
Had a great rant about how he was working on I think it was like Spooks or something, like a show that it was like a spy TV show, right? And they're saying that the stuff that they can and can't show is saying like right before the scene of like somebody being either shot in the face with a gun or like horribly burned by acid or whatever.
Right.
There's a guy in his car and they can't show him talking on his cell phone in his car because that will be bad.
Yeah.
So weird. I have another example like that, but Anarin's saying there's a TF2 play mode called Man vs. Machine where you play cooperatively against computer-controlled opponents that use the robot form. No. So I may have been unclear. Yes, there are robot versions of all the classes in the Man vs. Machine mode. In normal German TF2, the characters don't look any different. They look exactly the same as the characters in TF2 elsewhere. But when you kill them, they explode in nuts and bolts instead of like blood spurts and stuff and like blood. They explode and like components and gears go flying everywhere. They otherwise look exactly the same. The Man vs. Machine robots are a different thing. So anyway, there was a Korean TV drama that I saw that was on Netflix. Actually, I was like, oh, what's this? And I started playing it, and I didn't realize it was Korean, and it sounded interesting and really didn't hold my interest. But there was a bunch of cops surrounding a guy.
A lot of Korean people in this TV drama,
and they had their guns drawn. And he had a hostage and was brandishing what I am led to believe was a knife, but I couldn't really tell because it was censored.
Oh, wow.
The guns, no problem. The knife, blurred.
Well.
So he was like, and I'm like, what is he holding? And then I realized.
Blur you.
Wait.
I realized, it looked weird.
Like he was waving a silver
Like he was waving
dildo.
a dildo around, yeah. Well, it was black also.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized it's like, oh wait, no, it's actually a knife.
Maybe it was like a dildo knife.
No, it's not. The thing is, it wasn't actually a dildo. It was actually a knife because it's a thing in for Korean TV and movie standards, or TV standards anyway, that you can't have knives. I don't know why.
Was like, because then he draws it across the face and draws like a little bit of blood on the person. This like weird pixelated dildo, and it's like, well, I mean, those mosaics are really sharp.
I would just get around using a knife.
Yeah, it's like I can understand that like when you're translating from one place to another, but if you're making it in the place that has that limitation, why would you do that and then blur it? That seems so weird. Maybe it's like buy the DVD, you can have it unblurred.
I think it's kind of like what, and it's probably it, but also maybe it's a thing where it's like if you say, like, it's like when you say a curse word on television and then they have to bleep it out, but it's like, but we wrote that in so you can use the curse word, but when we bleep it out so that everyone gets the frisson of having to have seen it or heard it or whatever, and it's...
Well, even though this ended up being complete bullshit and they've gone back on this multiple times, the WWE for a while would just use whatever foreign object they wanted, and then they were like, no, we're going to try and be responsible about this, and that's why they switched to using steel chairs and kendo sticks and stuff like that as their primary go-to foreign objects, because they're not commonly found around the house, unlike baseball bats and golf clubs and things that you could find and emulate. And that's since not really panned out, but that was at least something that they said at the time.
Okay. I mean, I don't know a lot about child psychology, but I feel like if you're the kind of kid who's going to like look at a thing on TV and be like, oh, I want to be a wrestler like that, and hit my brother with a chair. Oh, but we don't have a steel chair. I guess I won't.
Yeah. Get this nice wooden chair.
Loot boxes. So yeah, there's these Twitch loot boxes. I just found it so weird that we went to the keynote at TwitchCon and they showed off all these new features and new things they were doing and talked about new stuff, and then there was like different announcements of things over the course of the weekend, and there was no word of this. And then,
oh, really?
No, not a word.
Nope.
And then Monday it was like, hey, Halloween loot boxes. And I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Huh? So, yeah.
There's that brief moment of why didn't this get announced at all? And
it probably wouldn't have gone over well.
I think that's probably it. It's like now you're going to have everyone editorializing on that on their IRL streams and stuff.
Yeah.
Though it would have been maybe
that was the story, TQ. We talked about that this specific kind of loot boxes is not legal in Japan. I tried to get a hold of someone in Japan to be like, yo, you use Twitch. Are these available? And they did not reply before airtime. Oh, here we go. I've been getting notices for it? Really? Huh.
Maybe it might be only illegal for like if you're actually a company based in Japan.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, we obviously appreciate any bits that you want to throw our way. Yeah, I don't.
Don't feel like you have to make this a thing for yourself.
Certainly not. Yeah, and
though
also I question the prize. It's like, yay! Now in May I can make zombies, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be one of those things where it's like I was here at the time, I did this thing, I got this thing, and I can show. It's like anything else that you get from like when I was in the Destiny 2 panel, actually, where they talk about we will retire stuff, and there's a very strong, like the community manager who was there, he was like, there's a very strong feeling among a lot of people in clans to be like, show off the oldest stuff you have, because it proves you've been around for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, that is a very good reason for a lot of people to push into get as much cool stuff as you can before it goes away, because then you can show off, but look at the thing that I got, look at the neat, you know, tabard, and look at all the cool emotes and stuff. And I'm like, I totally get this. So you want to do the same thing here.
And I was going to say my thought for as a protest, you know, if that's what you wanted to do, 249 bits.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying to Twitch, I like to give bits, but I don't like your loot boxes.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm actively avoiding your loot boxes.
We're pretty sure that works. And if you want to test it right now, go right ahead.
What bugs me is like that you can't. If you spend 500, you don't get 2 boxes.
No shit.
Yeah, it's if
You only get a maximum of 1 box.
if you
per
cheer
thing.
with 250 bits or more in one message,
All right.
you get a box.
Huh.
Yeah.
And here they come. Thank you, everybody.
See, obviously, thank you very much for the bits.
You're all great.
And that's amazing. And but I do think that if that became like a thing as sort of a quote unquote protest, I mean, obviously it's a weird protest because Twitch is still getting money for it, but because obviously they have all the stats, right? If they saw a bunch of people doing that, I feel like that would actually be a reasonable indication that maybe that people don't like the thing.
Is that true?
So if that's Paranomasiac, if that is true, then that might be a way that it gets around the gacha thing.
That you can pay
It's
5,000 bits in one go, you will guaranteed get the permanent emote.
That's true. Yeah.
You don't get the other emotes, I guess, or you get a box, or maybe
5,000 bits.
it's $50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $50 to the streamer. That's
It's
60,
like
70.
It's like I think it's like $63 or something.
Oh,
Damn.
If you do that, then they just give you the zombie lord kappa.
Which is funny because it's like, what does that mean about the chances of you being able to fulfill all 6? I don't.
It would have been nice.
Woof.
The other thing that would have made this work, or I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't have made it a loot box in the same way. But if they had done it where it was like you always get a unique one.
Yeah.
So the maximum you have to do is 6 boxes to unlock them all.
Sorry, OKB. Oh, I suppose that's kind of responsible from Twitch to limit it to 1 box per transaction, and then the 5,000 bits thing, and then OKB. Oh, okay, never mind.
I do.
6440.
TQ mentioning that makes more sense. Somebody did that to me. I wondered why he was so excited, and I'm like, I imagine then it's like, what's the like if you're a person who goes into a streamer on the reg, and you drop like a 200 or 300 bits or whatever every day, what if you just save all that up so you get close to 5,000 and then just drop them on the last day before?
Yeah.
Because then that streamer is going to be like, holy shit, everyone came into my chat and dropped like 5,000 bits on me. Where are all these $50 things coming from? And then of course, also it's like people are like, well, I haven't been dropping bits all month, but it expires today, so I'm going to do it now so I get my thing. And here's all the bits I would have given you for the last month.
Yep.
Anyway, that's...
Wodar 9, actually, that was interesting. I was watching Rhythm Cafe, speaking of microtransactions and stuff. I was watching Rhythm Cafe yesterday, and Heather and Ian were playing a game called, what was it called?
It's that piano one, right?
Yeah, it was like music.
Leading note?
I can't remember.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
And they were super on board with it. Like it was a great game.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful like style, really great music and everything. And they were like dancing line. That's it. They were like 100% behind the game. And then after about 25 minutes of playing it, they ran out of lives without previously knowing that they didn't notice that they had lives.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ran out of lives. Having also
We'd
bought
already
the game. Yeah.
fucking paid for that game.
And it wasn't even like
For
$1. It was $7.
It was $7 to
$7.
unlock the ad-free version.
Yeah.
The ad-free version is just the version that doesn't
Play ads.
play like interstitial ads.
Oh,
Wow, that makes me mad.
you're about to get mad because...
And so then it was like, okay, now if you want more lives, you can either wait, they recharge every 2 minutes, I think you get a new
That's
life,
fairly standard.
or you can watch an ad, right?
Okay.
Or you can pay, I think it was $2 or
was
$3 for 24 hours
48 hours of unlimited cubes.
of
which is-
unlimited lives.
Yeah, not even unlimited cubes. It's 48 hours of unlimited lives. So you can do that every 48 hours, so you can play as much as you want.
Yeah.
And literally, Heather was so mad. She's like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Well,
I don't wanna
but
give them
those
any
are
more
like,
money.
and
I don't wanna give
the
them any
company
more
that
I want to
exposure."
complain to the dev.
Yeah.
the company that made it, they're like Cheetah something, are kind of from what I understand, are actually kind of known for being shitty in terms of how they do their stuff. And like, I would love to see them. I would love for them to watch that stream and the way that not only it's just that these are two people really excited about your game, and about 300 people watching, many of which are going, wow, this is a great game, I am going to buy it.
Yeah.
Immediately going completely 180 to not only not liking the game, to actually actively hating the game.
Yeah.
Because of what they did.
The bait and switch.
To try and soak a little bit more, $1 or $2 out of people.
That's why they were playing Rhythm Heaven. Okay.
And I don't, the other thing, and
like that should be shown in like today, Monday morning meeting. They should be showing that and being like, we fucked up.
This is the thing I was also going to point out. So you know how they pull the thing up that says, please give us a 5-star review like that. There's actual thing built into the Apple's API now. It has a way for you to ask people, instead of having to make your own dialogues and shit, you can just say, I want to tie into the review API so that I can pop this up every so often and say, please give me a 5-star review.
I thought they were disabling those.
Well, they did. They've made a thing so in iOS 11 where now you can turn that off if you want to, right? But it's up to the user now. They were trying to get all the developers on board to using their API, which is a good thing, because if everyone just does that, then it's like we can use the official looking Apple way of writing review in the game. Looks very professional, and then one OS release later, they're like, great, now everybody who's been exposed to that shit, you can turn it off. Because if you don't like seeing this, we're going to let you turn it off because it's good for the users. And I'm like, that way you've gotten everybody to move all their shit over, and you said, now we're going to turn off this thing that's really annoying if you're willing to do that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Their thing that appeared said, give us a 5-star review and we'll give you free updates. You get free updates regardless, because that's how the App Store model works, is you get free updates.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that!
Well, it's not even that you're not allowed to do that. Like,
well, you can't. I don't think you're allowed to say that.
You technically can't do that in the App Store anyway. Like, I think what they were trying to say is that, like, if we get lots of good reviews, then people will buy it so that, like, we'll be able to do updates.
Yeah.
But
it's very misleading, and I'm just like, oh my god, and I'm like, that is a thing. Like, I was like, when I didn't hear that until they'd already changed the game, because I would have just been in there, because I was here yesterday, I would just put in there and say, hey everybody, now you get to see what happens when you want to write a message to Apple and say these people are trying to scam people on the App Store, because now we're going to do that for the next 20 minutes.
So,
but
anyway,
miserable.
I don't know. I guess we were talking about loot boxes and monetization stuff. But anyway,
this is Dancing Line. This is not the game. It's by the same people. It's by Cheetah. What was the?
Yeah, Dancing Line. That was the game.
Oh, I guess I was thinking of a different game when I bought the thing. Huh. Still.
But well, it is like a $7.
Yeah, no, it's $7 to remove the ads.
And I have no idea if we can actually get a refund or not. But we might look into that. I don't know.
Anyway, other stuff.
The Power Pass at GameStop. It's like, okay, it sounds
kind of interesting.
It doesn't sound like a terrible idea, except that Beej lasered in on the problem, which is that you can only go to a GameStop and borrow the games that are in stock in that GameStop, which means no new releases, because you should have fucking pre-ordered, and then a bunch of it's used stuff.
Like, Beej and I were actually talking about this before you got here, and we were talking about, it's like, it's weird the way, just by tweaking, like, because it's basically a library.
Yeah.
But by tweaking the two parts, being one, you get to keep the game for as long as you want.
Yeah.
And two, you get the game, or you get the game at the end.
You get to keep the last game you borrowed if you let your subscription go out.
And also, they actually just sell games as well.
Yeah.
So, and you can just buy so it's like a library if you could just buy the book off the shelf at the library and then nobody else could have it.
Yeah. And there was a gaming aspect I felt to it too, because like I could walk in and be like, oh look, there's that thing that I want. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to pay $60, take it off the shelf, and never come back to get another game.
And especially now that they've replaced half their storefront with ThinkGeek stuff.
Yes. Yeah, with like physical things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like because it's like, Blockbuster.
They had a guarantee.
In Blockbuster's model was we get 1 billion copies of the thing so that it'll always be in. Whereas this is basically them operating as a rental, kind of trying to operate as a rental store, but they don't have to actually buy any of the...
A library.
They don't have to buy any of the inventory.
No.
Like, the inventory is trade-ins.
Yeah.
Oh, Red Raptor, that's a really good point. Used games, you're already, when you're buying a used game at GameStop, you want to like look at the disc and make sure it's okay. Now used games are going away and coming back.
Constantly.
A lot more, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just going to get worse and worse. I especially, like, when I was thinking about this, also with Blockbuster, people come in and they rent a DVD, they take it home, they watch it, they put their drink on it, whatever, they bring it back. But they've had it for a night, maybe two, because it's a 2-hour thing. Somebody rents a game, they're going to have it for like a week or two or whatever until they're sick of the damn thing, right? And they bring it back, or they don't bring it back at all. And with Blockbuster, it's like, well, that's not going to be. So it's like a game that comes into the store is going to go out and be gone for a longer time. So if you came in and you're like, oh, well, it's whatever, like, well, we rented that out to somebody, but it'll be back whenever.
At some point,
At
or
some
maybe
point, or
somebody
maybe not
else
at
will
all.
trade in one.
Or maybe not at all.
I think the way to look at this, like if you want to sort of get your value out of this, is if you go into a GameStop and there's a game that you want, and it's a fairly expensive, and it's a fairly expensive game even pre-owned, because often pre-owned games at GameStop, especially a newer game, will only be like $5 cheaper than the new one.
Exactly.
So if there's like a game that's like, I don't know, $50 or $40 or something pre-owned, this is basically, you can, for $60, so for a little bit more,
Yeah.
you can have that game, and if on the chance you get bored of it, you can swap it for something else. Like, I think that's how you should look at this, not, oh man, I can have all these games. Like, you should look at it as there is this game that is there that I want, and I'm going to have that now.
Yeah.
And in the future, and I'm going to pay a little bit extra for the idea that there might be something better in the future that I want to trade this for.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm just going to use this as a lending library.
$10 a month though.
The alternate side of that, of course, too, is it's like, so you take this game home, and you're like, I paid a little more for this, but whatever, I take it home, I play it, and near the end of the cycle, I'm going to go bring this back, but now you're returning a game you got on rental, when if you had bought that game brand new, you could be returning it for credit, but now you're just returning it for nothing.
That's true, too. Then again, GameStop credit is usually pretty low anyway.
Yeah. So there's like an area that there's a Venn diagram of people that this really works for, and I'm not sure what the size of it is, and I think it'll be interesting to see if this works for them, because it's like, this is a really, I don't know how this all fits, but it's really interesting.
I don't know, if I had spare money for another subscription thing a month, I'd be watching the new Star Trek. I do miss going to the Blockbuster or the local video rental store, like Yo Video for us. I do miss being like, you want to watch a movie? Okay, let's rent a movie.
Yeah.
And then wandering around, spend like 45 minutes being like, what are we going to watch? And like just flipping through the things and be like, oh, this looks interesting. You know anything about this? Nope. Great, let's rent it.
Yeah.
You know? I do kind of miss that, but I also don't have fucking time for that.
To be
There's that
fair,
too,
I
yeah.
have spent 45 minutes flicking through Netflix, looking for something I want to play.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel like more of a waste
Just
of time
basically
somehow?
the same.
But you can do that with your pants off
It's true.
and not get arrested.
Yeah.
I mean,
I failed, so I'm saying that's an experience
benefit.
that can be emulated in Netflix, except with your pants off.
I mean, if you stand up and just walk around your living room while you're looking at Netflix, then yeah, you're doing about the same thing, I guess.
Who is this? Sorry, I like featuring me. So he's like, who does this work for? GameStop. Yeah. Microsoft has stopped manufacturing the Kinect.
I mean, it was going to happen.
That's of course one of the things where everyone's like, they were manufacturing the Kinect still?
Yep.
It's weird that, I mean, what was supposed to come with the Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It did for a while.
It was we have one somewhere.
Sony
because it just came with ours.
came with it. And then Sony just started outselling them hand over fist. And they were like, need to reduce the price. Whoosh, no Kinect
Pull this
anymore.
thing out,
There's
yeah.
literally 2 games that use this. Let's not.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah.
I mean, I'm with you guys in that when I saw it, I was kind of like, oh, that looks really neat. I'm not going to say that out loud to anybody.
All the neatest, yeah.
From Borax, it's all the Kinect. They have ceased manufacturing on the Kinect.
Yeah.
And the
Like I said, some people loved the Kinect.
well, everyone as soon as you said that,
Yeah.
a dozen people in chat were like, I like the Kinect.
Yeah.
I did all sorts of work with it. It's like, that was the thing.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that people didn't use it for playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I like that they even did like because they did the like Kinect for Windows. That was exactly the same as the Kinect for the Xbox, just with a different plug on it. And it costs like $100 more. But the main reason for that is because they didn't even have, like, anybody who was going to get the Kinect for Windows, they didn't even have the like excuse that it would be for games, because it was definitely going to be just for
a development tool.
Yeah. And so,
Did
like,
anyone
okay,
other than Harmonix make a good Kinect game?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I honestly can't name okay, wait. I guess I can name Kinectimals, but apart from Dance Central, I can't actually name a Kinect game.
I mean, there was always I think it was Jer who said the sort of joke that all Kinect games are either pointing,
right,
or
air humping,
or ship.
Oh, I see. Or flying. Okay.
And so whenever there's like a new Kinect game, it's like, oh, is it a pointing one, or is it a moving your body back and forth one?
Yeah. Oh well.
Lots of people mentioning, oh, I heard that all these X games were good for kids, and lots of that good for kids stuff. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it hit the wrong edge of the market.
Like it was.
There was a Fable game? Oh yeah, right. How was it?
There was like I think there was an area that they got really excited about because the Wii found this weird niche of being like actually, people using the Wiimote in sort of in kind of this fitness area, and it would start going into areas that video games weren't normally used, and so everyone got really excited about that. But that turned out to be because the Wii was stupid cheap, and that it was something that was just like, oh hey, we can do this. That when you brought it into the context of the Xbox, where people weren't going to dump all this money into a device that was just like, oh hey, this is a cool thing you can do occasionally.
Yeah.
WeShop.mp3. Who's that?
I don't know. They might not even come over here. I hope they do.
Hello?
I can go find out.
Please do.
The Kinect sold
Your mic is still live, though.
25 plus million units. But yeah, I mean, part of that is that it was included with it was like a pack-in with a lot of systems. I would guess that a lot of those that's a slightly deceptive number in terms of actual number of people playing Kinect games.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Some other stories. EA has asked... Was it UPS?
It was the Grapekeeper. It was the Grapekeeper.
Oh.
How's he doing?
He's hungry. He's got to eat.
Fair enough. Souls
is what he has to eat.
Has asked
Jump scare.
Devoted fans of Battlefield games to please stop.
Yeah.
I wanted to try to do something with this story because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like people who are keeping old Battlefield games alive, and they were like, "Don't do that anymore."
Yeah.
And it's particularly funny because, as you pointed out, the best part of it is that this was an article from Luke Plunkett, on Kotaku, and in the comments he links to an article he wrote 3 years ago.
Back in 2014,
Yeah.
A lot of these games, the reason why, or part of the reason why their servers are defunct now is that they were built on GameSpy, and which it was a service that for matchmaking and stuff that EA bought and then later shuttered. And when they did that, they were like, well, for some of these larger games, they said, like Battlefield, they're like, we're going to be, working with community people to, make sure that people, people can continue playing these games and all this stuff. So basically, and then now they're shutting it down.
They've had
shutting down people who were doing exactly the thing that they were like, yes,
we set you up to do this. Yeah,
they did. To be fair, the request was very polite, and it was a request, but it's we must ask that you stop. Please stop distributing copies of our game clients.
Yeah, so
and using our trademarks, logos, and artwork on your sites.
Apparently, the big sticking point is that in order to connect to the fans server, you needed a different client.
Yeah.
So they distributed the client on their website. So.
Yeah. And so from the 2014 thing is that that EA is quote investigating community supported options to preserve online functionality for these titles, and after 3 years of investigating the community supported options, they determined no.
We'd rather you not.
Yeah.
We'd rather just not. Not you not. We'd rather we not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neuroflare, no, this is different from like trademark thing. This is the people, the Revive network, the people who are supporting this. Are giving the clients out, but I don't know how you're supposed to get it otherwise.
Yeah, I mean it's it's obviously it's one of these things that is entirely within EA's rights to do. Right? It is their intellectual property and blah blah blah. It's just kind of poopy, especially these systems where it is like a. I mean, we've done stories about it on Checkpoint many times before, but that these big online communities that they're kind of get kind of sunsetted in some cases really fast. A game will have been out for 2 or 3 years and it just isn't hitting the numbers that it needs to hit for it to justify the server cost, I guess. And then they just kind of go bye.
It's the problem with this is part of a much larger discussion, but the problem with more and more games moving to the games as a service model. This came up again recently with the whole thing with Visceral and online connectivity and everything is like
as opposed to like people being able to run their own servers.
Well, not even that. Just like I can go back. Like I have a huge game collection at home from like SNES up to like PlayStation, PS2, Xbox 360, PS3. And I can go back and plug my system in and play those games.
Right.
Right. I'll never be able to play Destiny again. I'll, like in like 5 or 10 years, be like, oh man, remember Destiny? Let me just throw that disc in the machine. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's all online.
Yeah. And even if someone's running a server, there won't be enough people to like do anything.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like there's that aspect,
which is a different aspect.
Like there's that aspect where it's like an online game.
Yeah.
And of course, but
even games that don't have to be online, that have connectivity.
Right. There's the other aspect of it where there's a lot of games that stop working because like the authentication server goes offline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's actually a single player game.
Yeah.
But the place that it's supposed to be going to get info is gone now. So that's obviously kind of shitty.
What else we got here? Hey, do you need a solid state hard drive?
Why, yes, I do.
Do you have Star Citizen?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, if you buy an Intel solid state hard drive,
yes,
it's their new fancy one.
It comes with a Star Citizen chip.
Oh, can I sell that to cover the cost of my new Intel Optane solid state drive?
That's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think there'd be Star Citizen people who don't care about drives that would buy my ship if I bought a solid state drive?
Or they won't give a shit about buying an Optane specifically. So, and here's the thing, is that the Optane is a new it's a new technology. It's not transistorless, but it is transistorless. Anyway, it's different than current flash memory, whatever. And so Intel's like, this is way faster than anything you guys have dealt with before. And the Roberts Space Industries, or whatever the hell the name is, the company that makes Star Citizen, was like, yes, and it's a good idea to buy this kind of drive because the amount of stuff we'll be pushing out in Star Citizen is going to be incredibly over the top, and you're going to need huge amounts of getting stuff off your drive in a hurry so you can load it up into whatever. And I'm like, so are you just literally saying that the computer you have right now is not going to run the game that you haven't put out yet that you guys have all paid for? Like, is that what I'm hearing?
Some people think Optane is pretty cool.
The Optane's rad.
Huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, Optane, like it seems like a neat idea. But yeah, it's so they're making so that you can get this special edition ship. And what I mean, I don't know the economy of Star Citizen, but speaking of all the like microtransaction-y stuff we've been talking about, what I feel like it seems like kind of bad juju on this is that this ship is faster and more powerful than every other ship of that class.
Yeah.
And the only way to get it is
Just like
through
the
this
Optane.
thing.
Yeah.
So Beej was saying, I wonder if I can buy this and then sell the ship to cover most of the cost of the drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what is probably going to happen is you're going to get people who play Star Citizen are going to be buying
The drive.
the ship
yeah.
and trying to sell the drive.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get some cheap Optane drives.
Yeah.
Just look for Craigslist.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, actually, I was going to say, this microtransaction stuff we've been talking about.
Internet comedy group with deep storage needs
This-
seeking disillusioned Star Citizen player. Sorry.
This is not. These are not. We're not actually in the era in the realm of microtransactions here, because the previous version of this same ship, the worse version of this ship,
Right.
that Star Citizen themselves were selling.
Okay.
They were
And
selling-
You used to be able to buy it. 'cause
They
don't
used
sell-
to be able to buy from their store,
Right.
because Star Citizen sells individual chips and stuff, right?
Yeah.
They were selling in their store for $170.
US.
So this is not a micro this is a macro transaction.
Yeah.
This is several macro transactions, and I think you can get them on like eBay for like $200 now. That's the worst version of this ship.
Yeah.
So anyway,
The
weird.
the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, has basically they've laid down their expectations for what has to happen if people ever want to see esports in the Olympics. And this is not like this was all like supposed or previously stated in bits and pieces, but this was now like the formalized statement of like, okay, just so we're all on the same page, here's what we expect. And the big part of it is a global, a worldwide governing federation for the IOC to work with. Some sort of global like esports governing body, which currently doesn't exist.
Yes, and presumably isn't just like Blizzard.
Yeah.
And what's weird about
I
it
think
too,
that would be not allowed.
Yeah,
it's like it's like obviously like let's do this for the skiing, right? There'll be an international committee that's based upon we're going to talk about downhill skiing.
Yeah.
But ski jumping is probably not a part of that organization. So you have skiing and ski jumping, and probably even cross-country skiing is maybe governed differently than downhill skiing is. Maybe they're also not part of the same
A lot of
organization. right?
bureaucracy.
Esports
Yeah.
is way bigger because you can't say that, well, we're going to have esport gold medals, and what are you going to play? Are you going to play Smash? Are you going to play Dota? Are you going to play, I don't know, like, are you going to play Tetris?
And also,
Like-
in order to be recognized by the IOC as a sport, the content of esports must not infringe on the Olympic values, whatever that means. If it's like,
So it's like you don't want to have violence
If you-
or too much violence. Or
Yeah.
whatever. And
All right, Splatoon it is. I mean, Tetris I could actually buy. I could see them doing that, except that I think they probably would want to lean more towards team sport. But yeah,
or at least I guess there are competitive versions of Tetris, but it's an interesting. I would actually guess that that maybe they would want to make like an Olympic video game or something.
Rocket League, yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting. Anyway, like it's weird though, because it's like the
Tactic.
requirements for a Olympic sport video game and the requirements for a real video game are actually quite different.
oh, what if it was?
Like fun factor isn't really something that you would want to.
What if it's Mario and Sonic at the blank Olympic Games? It's what they go with for esports.
The Olympic games are routinely awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Mario and Sonic ones are not the worst.
Yeah.
But the licensed ones, I still remember fondly, not fondly, reviewing. Remember, I told you I worked for that video game review website.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I reviewed Sydney 2000 for PlayStation 1, and it was
dog shit.
Awful.
Well, all the games were the same.
It
was all either like
one game was different.
It was all like either spin your
it was
things or push the two buttons.
One game was different, which was diving, because you had to. It was like a very quick parappa the rappa. You had to be like triangle, circle, square to like make them move their pose.
Right.
Every other game was either one button,
Yeah.
or alternating two buttons.
Yeah.
That was it.
Epic's Winter Games for the Commodore 64. Right? Now, I mean, you had ice skating and free skating, which were the same thing. And you had like a couple other ones, but like biathlon and hot dog. Remember hot dog, which was just like doing a flip off of a thing, and bobsled, and like there's like 5 or 6 other ones that were built into that, and I'm like, they were all different things, and it was really only stuff like the skating where it's like
We did do this on Watch and Play once,
and then
didn't
click
we?
a button.
Did we do this on Watch and Play once?
Do like a series of Olympic games.
I don't know.
We did some sort of games on one of the ones that Ben was here for.
But I loved Winter Games so much, and I think that's what they should do is they should have to go back to the Commodore 64, because there was no instruction on how to play the game. You just had to figure it out as you went.
Just like the real Olympics.
Yep. Ski or die.
Well, I'm fit. What sport am I going to be playing? Oh, you're going to be a javelineer. Am I?
Yeah.
How do I do that? Figure it out.
Yeah. Mangled Pixel, I'm a fan of all 3 of those Epic's Games series.
I still want to have that. I know that a billion people have suggested it, but I still do want to have the and the normal human in the Olympics, just like someone who's not very active or particularly in shape.
So you can see what it looks like if you tried to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a great video I saw a while ago that was just showing NFL. It was like NFL tryouts. It was like a news report on NFL tryouts, and
Right.
so they just as a fun thing, the guy who was doing the news report and the one of the people who was trying out to be like a linebacker, so big ass guy, like huge guy, did a sprint. The guy who was trying to be a linebacker did the 100 meters like twice as fast as this news reporter guy.
Wow.
And this is the guy who's supposed to be just like standing there being the heavy.
Yeah, absorb impact.
Like just the level of athleticism in comparison to a regular person in some of these sports. Anyway.
Oh, that reminded me of a thing, and I can't remember what. Damn it.
That was
come back to me.
Alnus 49. That was. Oh no, you're thinking of. I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of Eddie Izzard's Stoned Olympics.
Yeah.
Wake up at 2 in the afternoon. Get out of the starting line. Get a slice of pizza, and you're off.
So, couple of other random stories that came up. So the next game that the people who did Surgeon Simulator are doing, which is
Linebackers are different. Okay.
which is called Deck Splash, which appears to be something to do with you're doing Splatoon on skateboards. I don't know. That's what it was described as. Anyway, they're saying that they've decided they're going to do a free week for it.
Okay.
And if they get 100,000 people to play it during that week, they're going to put it into early access.
Okay.
And
So
like,
it's not even ready for early access quite yet, or it is ready.
so
but
it's
they won't.
they're like ready to release it as a thing,
Okay.
or as an early access thing. And so what they're going to do first is put it up for free,
Right.
because you have to pay for early access games.
Sure.
So they're going to put it up for free for a week, and if they get 100,000 people to play it, they'll put it up into early access.
Okay.
If they don't,
If they don't,
they're not going to release it. they're just going to chuck it.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, if you don't have an audience for something, maybe you just decide to cut your losses.
The reasoning behind that, which I think is actually a reasonable idea. Basically, what he's saying is that this is like a team game, or not a team game, but it's a multiplayer game. If the user base is not there, then you can't play this game, right?
Right.
It's like you can't play PUBG if you don't have 100 other people joining your thing,
right?
Or however many other people, right? And so they don't want to be in a situation where a bunch of people have bought this thing on early access, paid the money for it, and they don't have but not enough people for them to be able to support it, and not enough people to play. It's sort of like they're trying to avoid it's almost like a Kickstarter not hitting its goal thing, right? Where it's like the worst situation for them is not selling it, it's selling it to not enough people,
right?
So that they're still on the hook for the game, but there isn't enough money to actually make the game.
It's front-loading your audience.
So what they're saying is that we're going to try this.
Yeah.
We've been doing like tests, and we think the audience is there, but we haven't been but we're not as confident as we would like to be about the audience. Like we were hoping that the audience for our like demos and streams and stuff would be bigger. So we're not that confident about it.
Right.
We're gonna do this, see if it works. If it doesn't,
yeah. So it's called Deck Splash.
Yeah.
it's called Deck Splash.
What did they make before this?
Surgeon Simulator.
Surgeon Simulator.
Ah, okay.
So these guys know how to do stuff.
So it's their fault.
Yeah. It's fair.
Surgeon Simulator really was the catalyst for that whole subgenre of terrible games.
Oh, okay.
Well, because there've been like Farm Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator and all the like actual simulator games.
Right.
And then these guys made Surgeon Simulator, which was like
the silly
like
thing.
what if real physics, but a terrible thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is great. And then everyone made broken physics.
Okay, and then we got Goat Simulator, which was great.
Well, Goat Simulator was already making fun of all these other ones.
Right.
But between those two, it was a bunch of other people being like, oh, I'm going to make Tea Party Simulator and Chainsaw Simulator. And it was all just like...
Yeah.
No, Goat Simulator is fantastic.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But it's like you had the Surgeon Simulator.
Surgeon Simulator was the catalyst.
And then Goat Simulator was
Goat
like
Simulator
great.
Was the response.
Yeah. Right. And so without, so we didn't get like, so we got some benefit out of it. But yeah,
Surgeon Simulator was originally a jam game.
I believe it.
Not to be confused with Elsa Brain's Surgeon Simulator.
Maybe Goat Simulator was first. I don't
know. Those games were so bad. Oh, did I have one more? No, I didn't. Nope. I had nothing else to discuss.
There's the Stranger Things mobile game.
Oh yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, Stranger Things, the second season just came out. And to go along with it, there's a mobile game. But apparently part of the agreement for developing the mobile game was that it would be done in complete secrecy.
So why do we know about it?
Well, because it's out now.
Oh, I see.
The game is out now.
Oh, I see.
But the game had to be developed in complete secrecy because I guess it had like plot points from...
Oh, okay.
I did not read that article, so...
Yeah, I guess it had plot points
from... Yeah, because I haven't watched this
from the new
I
season.
haven't watched season 1 yet, so...
And so the problem they ran into is that to do play testing, they couldn't do normal play testing because they
might spoil it.
And so apparently it was entirely play tested by like their friends and family of like the whatever 25-person development studio
who they could swear to secrecy, and if they leaked it, it's like, Johnny, why did you leak that?
That's amazing.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I have no spoil. We didn't give any spoilers.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a really good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
I'm assuming the Babadook is in this or some shit. I have no idea how any of this works anymore.
Well, don't say anything because apparently there's spoilers for season 1 in the game.
Ah.
Oh, also, yeah, this is actually also really cool. Football Manager, which is.
Oh yeah.
So Football Manager is the
premier football management game.
Yeah. So Football Manager is there's like Madden for people who like to play football,
Yeah.
American football.
Yeah, American football. And the Football Manager is for people who want to manage football. And I think there's like a management.
Soccer.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
it is soccer.
It is
Yeah.
soccer.
Sorry, yeah,
so
you're right.
FIFA versus
There you go.
Football
Yeah,
Manager.
FIFA.
There we
Sorry,
go.
I got confused there. Yeah,
It's
okay.
fine. Yeah, I
FIFA
played it
versus-
on my C64. This has been around for decades.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the first ones that came out.
Yeah.
And so, but the idea behind Football Manager is that it's basically a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
but a fancy spreadsheet.
Very fancy spreadsheet.
But it's the management simulator. It's everything about the game of football/soccer except for the actual playing of
Yeah.
Yeah.
the actual football. And these are the same people that so Football Manager 2016 had a thing about Brexit, which we talked
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Shane, check was that
remember we did a story on
because
that.
they wanted to do real world. They do make it as accurate to the real world as possible. They had implications with what would happen depending on how Brexit went,
Right.
in terms of the UK football leagues
It's
versus
EVE
the
Online for soccer. Yes.
versus the European football leagues.
Right.
And so one of the things that they're doing now in the new version is, so as you play, obviously your roster is made up of real footballers, but as time goes on in the game, they retire.
Right.
So, and the game you can like play the game for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to need new players who don't exist yet.
Yes, and so the game generates new players.
Oh, good.
So once went to replace the old players, the game actually just generates new players whole hog, based on various stats and
Okay.
things.
Okay.
I'm assuming, I would hope that there's some sort of whatever the RPG things where you can like get players into relationships to try and get. That's probably not true.
Oh, they have like
so you can
Yeah.
like breed players to
Yeah.
be better. I don't think that's a
doesn't
thing.
let you do that.
like
Anyway.
Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you can do players, and so one of the things that they've added in the new one is that there's a chance, pretty small chance, I think, that these new players, these new generated players, will at some point during their career come out as gay.
It'll like show up as like a news.
It'll be like a news
blurb.
article.
Yeah. So thromborex. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And one of the implications, and apparently the main thing that happened, like if one of your players comes out as being gay, you will then a little while later hear from your manager or whatever that the receipts from like one of your stadiums or your stadiums have gone up a little bit because of support from the LGBT community.
Oh, cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and like it was just it's like a small thing. Apparently, it's not that common for it to happen in the thing, and it does actually. They're saying because there are still some places in the world where it is actually illegal.
That's,
gay,
that's
yeah.
why
To
they
be-
don't. That's why they don't randomly
to be
do that with any of
homosexual.
the real players.
Yeah.
And so if you have the game in a country where it is illegal, that will not happen.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
But
like
yeah, they don't do it to any real players.
Yeah,
because
but it's
for
also
legal
like
reasons.
it's also like if there is a team, if you're playing the game and there is a team that has because this is how I read it, is that there's I don't know, let's say Qatar. I have no idea if it's illegal to be gay there or not, but I mean it shouldn't be anyway. Nobody on that team in your game will come out as gay, but you could trade a player off of that team to like England, and then they might come out as gay at that point, which I thought was interesting because it's kind of like, well, because then they could do that in a different country, and then I'm like, what happens if a gay player, like, will the game recognize if you're a gay player, you cannot be traded to a country where it is illegal, because that's now a thing. It's like, it's now a flag thrown up in the game. It's like, this player cannot be traded to any of these other countries now because these other countries would not allow them to
They
have it.
probably didn't test for that.
I hope they do.
But it's Football Manager, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and yeah, as you say, like Dared 00, it does, it probably is a somewhat idealistic version of what would happen.
Yeah.
But
Play for the world you want, not
Yeah.
the world
yeah,
you
I
have.
think that's
It's
fine.
nice to have fantasies.
And also theoretically, this is supposed to be, because this is the players that are generated after other players retire. So we're talking a couple years in the future. So hopefully we're moving towards that.
Yeah.
God, imagine if they had
anyway,
built a
I
thing
like
in
it.
where it would be like if a player comes out as gay on a team, and then the receipts drop because there's a whole bunch of bigots living in that part of the world, and then that news breaks in like the real world, right? And then that the community where that would have happened for the football club is like, we're not bigots. What the hell are you saying? Like,
I love the idea that they've done the like football manager.
yeah. Here's the most homophobic
has
clubs
gone
to
through
play
and
for,
like
yeah.
and like done all the research to make sure the data is correct in terms of how it will be received in each place.
Yeah.
And it actually is like a more sophisticated data model than actual governments use.
Yeah.
Things. Anyway, so that is all the news that we wanted to talk about today.
Yep, that's it for this week. Tonight on Tinker Tailor, why did I look at you? Are you on Tinker Tailor
I'm on
tonight?
Tinker Tailor tonight.
What are you doing tonight?
We're doing project cleanup.
Oh,
We've got a lot of little things that need to get done. So Ian's going to do as many of these little things that need to get done as possible. And while he's doing that, I will be co-hosting, and I'm going to be rim polishing.
whose rims?
We're just gonna leave that.
Mine.
All right.
Get those rims nice and
I got to go to Canadian Tire and buy some polishing product.
Don't
I'm trying to turn it into a joke too, and I can't yet.
don't you need them on your car?
These are not rims I can use anymore. These are rims for selling.
Oh.
Ring, man, your ring.
Okay, so I own a set of rims that, because I bought a set of tires from a guy,
Let me get the subscribe.
and he, when he sold me his tires, he said they come with the rims, and I saw the rims, and they're AMG Pentablock rims, and I was like, oh, those are kind of nice. And they fit. AMG's the performance arm of Mercedes, right? So it's like, these are AMG Pentablocks, and they're a specific look to them, and they look pretty nice, and I had them on my car for a long time, and I put my summer tires on those, put my winter tires on my old rims. And then when the car was being given away, I threw my shittiest tires and the old rims back on and kept the AMG rims to myself because I'm like, these are still worth something. I'm not just going to put them in the whatever. And I listed them for $300 because I'm like, I just want these out of my house, I guess. I know they're probably worth more, but I don't have time to clean them. And within a day, I had about 30 responses from people being like, yo, I'll come get them right now. And I was like, I already have a guy in line for this. This guy put me off for 2 weeks saying, I'm totally going to come and get them, but I can't do it today. I can't do it today. And finally, I'm like, you know what? F it. I pulled the ad offline. People kept contacting me. Just pulled the ad offline. I went and I looked on eBay and discovered that a brand new in-box set of these rims is $2,000.
Ooh.
So I'm going to polish some rims tonight and see how much money I can make.
All right. You got to update everyone.
Yeah, I know. If I actually end up selling them, we'll see.
And then
what
tomorrow
happens.
on New Day Tuesday,
It's a double.
It's a double header. Best review.
New Day 2 Tuesday.
Yeah, best review game of the year, Mario Odyssey. Is that the earlier one?
That is the early one of the day. That's Heather doing that.
Yeah, and then James is going to be playing this week, right? No, you're doing. What are you playing?
I'm playing Assassin's Creed.
Oh yes, right.
Nice.
The new
Assassin's Creed
So,
Origins.
Of the three that just
Odyssey
came out,
Origins.
what's the third one we're not playing then? Or was that Destiny 2?
No, it was Wolfenstein.
Right.
Yeah, all three of those came out the same day. So. All right.
Wait. So let's do this. Wait, there's the thing. And the welcome, like we do.
Now we're going to welcome the subs. Paul's almost got it.
Alrighty, here we go.
Omega Laron with a 46-month resub. Welcome back.
And Dreaming in Autumn for 15 months, watching Checkpoint Plus when I really should be getting ready for NaNoWriMo. I'm so doomed, but Lure is worth it.
Get a
good pen.
Get a pen.
Yeah.
Red Hasta for 6 months. Thank you.
Red Echo, 31 months. Welcome back.
Laura Defies You is a new subscriber. Welcome, Laura. Glad to have you here.
Never asked Laura to do anything she didn't want to do.
Beep boop, I'm a mat tree.
I am a
5
tree.
months. I am a tree.
John Dyer with a 45-month resub. Whoop, whoop, 45. That's halfway to 90.
Oh, that's the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leo Redcap is back for the 5th glorious month. Welcome back, Leo Redcap.
C-Dabs is a new subscriber. Welcome, C-Dabs.
I'm so sorry. Ted Chaney with a 30-month resub. 30 months, that's 2.5 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
On the box for the 41st month. And thus, the sub-train rolls out of the station, ready to slam face first into checked point.
Lord Crusher for 25 months. That's no Kathleen. That's a bee.
See, I told you your costume would be impressive.
Yeah. That's you, I think.
Itazu with a 50-month resub. The big 50. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Itazu. Welcome back.
Bob58's back for their 7th month. Thank you, the Bob.
Q Dervish for 4 months. It's a check beach.
Furby Breath with an 11-month resub. Now we know.
Now we know.
Now we know.
Desbus Game Jam's back for the 13th month as well. The Game Jam on itch.io is at 17 members strong and growing. Looking forward to a great Desert Bus this year. So are we.
Cool. 302 Dave is a new subscriber. Welcome.
Cercion with a 2-month resub. Say something clever.
Ah, man. For 31 months. Welcome back, ah, man.
XLoner12 is a new subscriber. Welcome. Join us.
Stock Trading River Otter. A 7-month resub. Welcome back, Stock Trading River Otter.
What a neat name. Miss Lethal is back for the 9-month. Congrats on that sub, baby.
We made a joke about it in Running Start.
Oh, okay.
Fishman Fish for 15 months. Wow, 15 months. Thank you for all the wonderful time. Thank you, Fishman.
We do.
That's fine. Togoshina Ruda with a 46-month resub. Happy Halloween Eve.
Right.
Ooh. And thanks for 2142 bits from Rio Pezio. TQ, thank you. Corp, Roscoe Dark Horse, AJ Malik, Electro Irisu, Drasvin, Lavender Extract, Dragon Heartfare, and Ghostwaz.
Yeah.
And in particular, all those of you who
Bid 249.
249.
Yeah.
Stick it to the man while also giving the man and us money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get more than that.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a it was the Atelier game. Or sorry, the Atelier game. And it was
Right, because that's how they say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like you can't I can't remember the context. It was like you can't do that. You're a book or something. And it's like you can't trade stocks. You're a river otter. I can't remember the exact context, but that's where that was sort of a joke like that. I don't remember any jokes that we make anymore. I so badly need lunch right now.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's go get some food.
Let's go get some
All
tires.
right, thank
Come
you
back for Tinker Tailor.
all so much.
Tinker Tailor tonight.
Is going to be in a few hours.
God, like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Wait. Soon.
Beat just takes
that's not
right
gonna
off.
work.
No, you got to go do it manually?
Do you want me to do it manually?
All right, I'll just wait here. Do you know how to do it?
I'm going to guess. Wait, there's a going online, but there's no going offline. I'm sorry.
It's called Thank You.
It sure is.
Cool. Now, do you know how to mute the microphones?
Just like this. Wait. Crap.
Are we muted now?